So let's talk about the next section, which is the SWOT analysis, really understanding who you are as a company, what strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats there are, and understanding externally what the environment is against you. So you really have to dig deep to understand what your strengths, weaknesses are internally. Now, remember, your strength doesn't have to be another, someone else's strength and competitive strength, let's say. And you should have, as a company, some core competencies that you do better than everybody else. If you're a restaurant, maybe you cook, maybe you have a pizza that's unique, that's different, that no one else does, that has a special recipe or something like that. If you're a dry cleaner, maybe you have some special way of folding it that no one else does. It doesn't necessarily have to be a trademark or patented thing, but it's just a unique way of you delivering what you deliver. A product, something that makes you different. That's a strength, right? That's a core competency. Maybe a strength could be customer service. You have customer service 24/7, or maybe you speak 6 languages in your company between all your employees, and you could solve a problem in 6 languages. That could be a strength. And you need to identify what those is. And I always like to think that if you have a minimum, you should have a minimum of 3 here, 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses, 3 opportunities and 3 threats. Why? Because there is nothing that's perfect out there. So you have to really be able to dig deep to find these strengths and weaknesses. So let's talk about weaknesses. What's a weakness? Well, a weakness might be, if a strength is you have the ability to communicate in 6 languages. A weakness could be you have the lack of ability to speak in more than 1 language. Maybe you just do English, or maybe you just do Spanish or Portuguese. Well, that's a weakness because not all the world speaks that 1 language. And if you do global business, that could be a problem. Maybe a weakness is you're only open 5 days a week. That could be considered a weakness. Or maybe your weakness is you can't ship product east of the Mississippi or something like that. So you have to identify a weakness, an internal weakness, something that affects you only, right? A weakness could be your lack of expertise in the industry, which would be understandable if you're just jumping into something, but hopefully you understand that. So that could be a weakness. And then we talk about now the opportunities and threats. So the opportunities and threats have to be external. Now we're living through the coronavirus, right? That is a threat, and you can't identify that you're going to go through the virus, but you could say we don't really have a crisis plan for viral diseases. Now that we all know a viral disease could wipe out a business, that could be a threat, right? And that could also be tied into a weakness that you don't have the crisis plan for that. The opportunities could be markets that you want to go into that other people, other companies, other competitors are not going into. The opportunity could be that you have a new system, a new approach. It's more external type stuff that you can pull in and take advantage of. That's what the opportunity is. So when you outline the strengths, the weaknesses, and the opportunities and threats, I always try to put at least 3 points in each one of them. And sometimes it could be hard, but if you do at least 3 points, you'll have a roadmap of who you are internally. And that's important. You need to know who you are internally before you can even compete against the competition. And we'll look at that next and understand a competitive analysis too. Now, I also recommend when you're really setting this up, you want to do a SWOT analysis on 1 or 2 competitors as well. So you break it down the same way you're breaking down your analysis, so you can compare the 2 in front of you and you have a fair comparison there.